Great idea.
Welcome to another episode of Ego on Break. I'm your host, Jay Andrews, and you are?
Mississippi Madman Logan Creed.
Logan Creed. Today we're going to talk about the last call event that happened December 3rd, which was Saturday.
Okay.
Featured the return of Ted DiBiase Jr., broke foot and all. Also came along to hang out and make an appearance was the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase Sr., I guess you would say. So that's what we're talking about. What'd you think of the event?
The show itself was pretty good. I'm trying to think of the... I didn't see the very first match, all of it. I caught the very end of it with Odinson and...
versus Dark Fury for the Pride Championship.
What I saw was really good.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna watch the video.
I don't know if maybe Dark Fury... underestimated the power of Odinson. I mean, why would you when he looks like a mountain? And I'm not real sure that Odinson, took Fury as serious as he probably should have. But it was definitely a strong back and forth match.
Yeah.
I thought Odinson had him beat there a couple times, but Fury reversed the F10. Caught the cutter and then the froggy elbow for the win. So, still Pride champion, Dark Fury.
Like I said, what I saw looked great.
Right.
I haven't seen the whole thing.
Right. What do you think about John Davis coming out and welcoming Dark Fury as the newest Federated brand wrestler, athlete?
I thought it was cool once I realized what the heck was going on, because I didn't know what was going on. I read more about it on Facebook than I did at the time, knowing what was going on. But it was really cool. Like I said, I still don't know a lot about the Federated brand. I'm going to have to look at more of it. And I do apologize, because at one point during their match, I called it the Confederated brand, and then I correct myself.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it wasn't the Confederated brand.
It was a slip of the tongue. We're in Mississippi. But,
so Confederates on your brain.
Yeah,
That's what you're saying.
So.
But I thought it was very cool. It's just a... it's kind of that next step for Dark Fury. I mean, he's only 2 years in, so or less than 2 years, I think.
But he's out there more than almost anybody else.
Absolutely. I mean, he's got a date coming up in Texas, Tennessee, Louisiana. Like, he's definitely making the miles.
This morning he's going to wrestle Americos.
Oh yeah, awesome. Yeah, that's in Texas.
Okay.
That's for Sir Mo's promotion.
Yeah, that's what.
So I guess Dark Fury is going to be a man on a mission, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I just saw earlier that January 7th he's got the ladder match with Joey Abel here in Ego.
That's true.
At the Hideaway. January 21st he goes to Memphis to face Tattoo. So
wow,
that's really cool.
I like Tattoo. He's a good wrestler.
Oh, absolutely. So they should tear it down. I know for Antonio Garza's promotion in Alabama, the Lucha promotion.
I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah. I think Lucha, and Tattoo, Dark Fury, Lucha, and Tattoo had a triple threat there. So those two should be a little familiar with each other. But getting back to the last call event, Lucas Frost defeated Oblivion. Oblivion's a strange character, to say the least. He's way out there in his approach to wrestling, so it's very different.
Yeah.
I kind of enjoy that. It's not always got to be headlocks and hard shots, In
my opinion, if he gets a little funny stuff out of the way and then start turning into the monster a little later on into the match, he might have done a little bit better. Because Lucas pretty much beat his butt about 85% of the match. Yeah,
I mean...
but Lucas has been doing this as long as I have. So.
Yeah, so I mean, he's a 15-year vet or whatever, So, and Oblivion this is his rookie year?
Basically.
Is that correct?
Yeah, basically.
So, a lot to learn, but, it was a really good match, I thought.
He got his shots on.
All right, and this is the next match, which I didn't get to see very much of. Abbey Street Boot Boys took on 13th Floor, the team of Trevor Ayon and Damian Bennett. Did you get to see any of that match?
Yeah, I was trying to record it until my camera went stupid on me, but it was a good match. I'd never seen the Bennett guy before, and I was pretty impressed with him.
He's a student of Robert Gibson,
really?
Rock and Roll Express member.
Well, it was definitely an enjoyable tag match. pretty close call, and
Blue Boys came out on top.
Yeah, and it was basically on like a mistake. You know
Oh yeah,
what I mean?
well we may get to see that match again then. So I'm sure if 13th floor lost, basically beat themselves,
Well, like I say, I ain't gonna say that's what it was, but it was.
It wasn't that.
Maybe you should have done
we just got
this
clean.
yeah, exactly.
I got you. All right. Remember the next match?
Was the other tag match?
Was it the other tag match? It was.
If I remember right.
Yeah. I guess you would say thrown together team of Rome from down in Florida and Coyote from Oklahoma. He's, I guess, 1/5 of Arrow Club with Cow Hawks, Navajo Warrior, Tatanka, and they just added a female from California. She just got added to the Arrow Club. Okay. So Coyote and Rome faced tag team champions Days of Rage, Riot and Zane. So how was that match? I didn't get to see that match either.
Well, the first part of it starts all through the crowd, so that was kind of cool. I like that because it made it different than the other tag match. And it was a big brawl. And the match itself, Coyote took pretty much a lot of beating. I mean, he did pretty good for himself, but I mean, eventually, 2-on-1.
Well, there's a reason that Days of Rage are the tag team champions.
Exactly. So. And you could tell that the other tag never tagged.
Had tagged, yeah.
I mean, they did what they could, but
But all in all, a solid match.
Pretty solid match, yeah.
Awesome,
I thought the Rome guy was for what I saw him get to do in the ring was really. I'd like to see him in a singles match. Yeah. I really would.
Well, hopefully that'll happen. Who would you like to see him against in Ego? Who do you think be that?
I think him and Joey Abel would be really cool. Honestly,
be really good.
Honestly, or maybe him and because the stuff I saw him do was kind of a strong style.
Right.
So maybe him and Christian Blake.
That could be really good. That'd be really good. All right, and then moving on to the semi-main event.
Steve Anthony and John Davis
for the Federated Championship. Wow, that was a pretty good match.
That match was awesome.
So,
I
know I thought one time Steve had him beat when he had him in the crossface, which is, one of John's signature moves.
Yeah.
And John reversed it, but Steve held on.
Yeah, he
got him right back into and
rolled straight into it.
Right. Sorry about that phone call.
But it was a great match, man. I had fun calling it. I got my camera was good by that, so I'll put it up later today.
So still Federated champion John Davis defeated former NWA Junior Heavyweight champion Steve Anthony.
Yes.
And then that led us to the main event. We had Leading Edge and Joey Abel.
That's right.
Joey Abel got some big backup there to take on Teddy DiBiase Jr., son of JYD, Mike Carter, and El Fuego del Sol.
Okay, so I didn't know his whole name.
Yeah. So what do you think?
That's the first time I've seen Fuego in person. I enjoyed the mess out of watching him and Monty Warbucks' trade back and forth. It was great. Monty hit him with the rolling cannonball at one point. I thought broke his face with his butt, but it was awesome. I mean.
Yeah, Monty's a big guy to be cannonballing into the corner. And Fuego, not a small guy, but compared to Monty, he's a small guy.
Pretty much everybody in the ring is a small guy. What do you weigh? Maybe 180?
Yeah, I'd say that. I'd say somewhere between 175 and 200. He's got a decent look to him. So muscles a little heavier than fat. So,
it was good. I mean, it was really good. Junior working on
with a broke foot, one wheel, I guess you would say. Had the protective boot on, which I don't know how much that protected it, but
must have been pretty good. He came off the second rope.
He did come off the second rope, a one-legged second rope diving double axe handle. So
that was good.
And the finish was $1 Million Dream Street combo with the 450 from El Fuego. So
exactly.
Teddy DiBiase Jr., Mike Carter, and Fuego defeated the Leading Edge and Joey Abel. So all in all, it was a very good show. Very good event.
I enjoyed the mess out of it.
Yeah. Anything else in wrestling? Seen anything else lately?
No, I was going to watch TLC this morning, but the copy that I got did not play. So the download didn't take or whatever. So I will see more of that in the next day or two.
I got you.
Only thing I do know is like AJ Styles evidently blew a hole in his tights right there at your butt. So like you're seeing his butt the whole match.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? I didn't know what they were talking about, and then somebody posted a picture. I'm like, okay.
Would you happen to see the Jay Lethal Cody Rhodes match in Ring of Honor?
No.
You see any of that? I didn't see it. I saw a clip of the finish, and basically the ref kind of got a backwards headbutt from Jay Lethal.
Okay.
And Cody kicked him in the, let's just say kicked him below the belt.
Yeah.
And hit him with the crossroads or whatever the finish is. And then kind of like went crazy on the crowd. He was turning the tables over and got to an altercation with Steve Corino and gave the Stone Cold salute to the crowd. And Cody went a little heelish there.
Let me ask you, does that have anything to do with the BJ Whitner?
I don't know. Because
there's I saw a promo this morning. It's BJ Whitner and Kevin Sullivan, and it said the end, and it said what son will prevail. So,
I don't know.
And I've been reading about Steve Corino possibly going to WWE.
Well, yeah, like he's going, so it's not a possible. Okay. Yeah, at WrestleCade, C.W. Anderson, did the whole thing. You worked so hard for this. The indies are gonna miss you, kind of deal. So,
okay.
Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna be a writer or an agent, but or a trainer. I mean, he may be on NXT.
For NXT. Yeah.
I just knew that he was headed. He was leaving Ring of Honor to go to work for the Federation.
Because what I keep reading is there's going to be a big WWE raid on the Ring of Honor roster.
That's interesting. Bigger than it's already been,
I was going to say that.
Well, I guess they took a chunk out of TNA, so I guess Ring of Honor. Let's get some of those guys too. So
gotta do what you gotta do. He's always done that. So why change it? I guess. I read where like the Young Bucks is like one of the #1 goals.
Well, Young Bucks just signed 2 years with Ring of Honor.
Oh, good.
So that won't happen.
Where they kept saying we don't really care if we go to WWE.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they make a ton of money already.
All over the place. Japan.
And you get to pick your own. Well, they probably make more than most of the guys at NXT just off selling T-shirts.
Probably.
So I think somebody said they have like close to 100 different T-shirt designs that are floating around out there.
Yeah.
So
because what is it? The wrestling tees.
Yeah, pro wrestling tees.
Dude, they got stuff all over the place.
Yeah.
And
but I did hear that the Hardys, Broken Hardys, are coming into Ring of Honor to feud with the Bucks of Youth.
Wow.
So, the great marketing guys that the Bucks of Youth are, they've got the Bucks of Youth T-shirts now. So
sweet. Okay.
So you had to give them credit there. They don't miss an opportunity. So
how are you making money?
Our friends down at Elev8 Pro in Louisiana crowned a new champion, and the unholy Gregory James. Word on the street, which I haven't seen the match, but word on the street that Dark Fury had the title won. They did a scramble match, had the title won in like the last 5 seconds. Gregory James slid in, screw job, whatever, grabbed the tights, whatever he did, and 1, 2, 3 at the last second, stole the victory from Dark Fury. So
Blake Wilder had on his Facebook page, I was the very
first champion.
And he's like, but it didn't count because I wasn't the
I saw Purple Haze say, but I was a 2-time champion or whatever.
That's cool.
I think it was Blake Wilder, Purple Haze, Alex Cruz, Dark Fury, and Gregory James in a 5-way scramble. So
I had Gregory James picked because of what the poster said.
An Unholy Christmas or whatever. Kind of gave it away though.
Just a little bit.
But very good match. Is what I've heard. I've heard nothing but positive reviews from it. So, I think they got a really big. I really hadn't paid attention a lot to what was going on in the Indies this week.
I've been so busy with this
it's been
Christmas
busy
rush stuff.
absolutely.
It's driving me crazy.
Who gonna check out this week? We do the one to watch on the Indies or somebody to check out. You got anybody you want?
What about Steve Anthony? Hell, he was on the show.
That's Steve Anthony is a good one. I know you have a upcoming Life in a Headlock with Steve Anthony. So shout out to check those out if you hadn't watched Life in a Headlock on YouTube. A lot of good interviews with that.
We'll probably be doing Davis first.
Okay. But Steve Anthony, former NWA Junior Heavyweight Champion, former trainer for Harley Race's school.
And he
been to Japan.
Traveled all over
I mean, he's been everywhere.
Man.
He did the, Les Thatcher had the race for the cup or whatever, you know, a few years back, had that big tournament. And I think Steve Anthony went out to California and was in that.
I remember what you're talking about. It had like
so.
30-something people.
Yeah. I can't remember who Steve worked. I guess that. Did y'all touch base on that?
No, we didn't, honestly. Because right then the show had started, so I didn't know like how much time do we got.
Right.
So I was kind of judging it.
Right.
And we were going, but I did find out like he's a very, very, very Christian man.
Oh, that's very
much
cool.
to himself, but it was a cool interview. It really was. You learned a lot about him.
It's hard to have those, gung ho Christian values.
Yeah.
I want to say, and be in the wrestling business. So I know we struggle with that. I'm very religious myself. Probably not as much as I should be, but I struggle with just that locker room talk. Like, and it's no different than any other locker room. It's locker room talk.
That's true.
That's one of the worst things, for me.
I mean, but when you watch this, you'll learn a lot about him. I don't want to give away too many.
I'm looking
spoilers,
forward to
it. But it was a very good interview. But he just talked about just all the people he got trained by, and I just remember telling him, because he talked about Nightmare Danny Davis, he talks about Les Thatcher, he talks about Harley Race, he just legend after legend after legend. I'm like, dude, that's just like a plethora of freaking knowledge. I'm like, if you didn't learn something,
then something's wrong,
bro. You need to go out wrestling, But I definitely recommend watching it. And if you can find any Steve Anthony match, go check it out. Anything. Yeah. But I do know he said like his dream opponent had always been Jushin Thunder Liger, and he got to wrestle him like twice now.
Yeah. But he wrestled AJ right before he went to.
He talked about AJ too.
Right before he got signed with WWE or whatever. They wrestled in Arkansas of all places, so I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah, he's been around forever, man. So
first place I ever saw him in Battle Zone.
The former Steve Southern. I don't know. A lot of people realize that. He had that Steve Southern kind of thing when he first started.
Was that a New Orleans Fight Club?
No, see, since I've known him, and he was part of New Orleans Fight Club. He was always Steve Anthony. Like, that's right, I've just learned kind of from some of the old timers in Mississippi, Louisiana about Steve Southern. So I'm personally gonna try to find some of that. So I've seen Steve Anthony, but I've never seen Steve Southern. So
that's cool.
Just see if it's any different. Got a road story?
Well, I told you one I wanted to talk about was I guess it was our first real touring trip. Where was it at? With Rick Steiner and D'Lo Brown.
Natchez, Mississippi.
That's it. And we show up to this huge sign. It's a big banner, and it says Sting, NWO,
right above Sting's name.
So it says NWO, but you didn't.
So you wasn't false advertising that you didn't have the real Sting, that you had the NWO Sting, which he was super cool. What's his name? Jeff Farmer? Is that his name?
Brother, you gonna get me?
I think was he like the state trooper or something?
He was the guy that come down from the rafters. He was a military gimmick in WCW.
Okay.
But it was NWO Sting versus Lex Luger.
Yeah, like 3 inches for NWO and like 2 feet for Sting.
That was the best part of that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But there was a lot of guys on that. Rick Steiner, Buff.
Well, my personal story from that was that
Buddy Landale was on
Buddy
the show.
Landale.
The Nature Boy.
Should I tell that part?
Well,
no, I'll leave that out. I'll give you the part where Rick Steiner scares the hell out of me.
Yeah.
I somehow got put in charge of freaking music, of getting their CDs and stuff. And I mean, I'm just a runner boy at that time. And Rick Steiner's like, I didn't bring any music. He goes, do you have a CD? I had one CD in my car. It's Aerosmith. And I was like, dude, Highway to Hell would sound awesome if you come out there. That's right. I said Aerosmith. Sorry. Yeah. AC/DC. I said Aerosmith. I said, Highway to Hell would sound awesome as you're coming out. He goes, play any song but Highway to Hell. I'm like, this. And Monty's just standing there staring at me, by the way, at this time. And he's like, he's fucking with you, kid. He's fucking. Yeah, I was like, and I'm just like, I'm froze like a deer in the headlight. I said, yes, sir. So I go up to the music guy. I said, on this CD, play any song but Highway to Hell. And I remember this. All of a sudden, the match comes around, and we're recording, if I remember right.
Yeah, I was running the camera at the time.
And I was like, I hear, no stop signs. I was like, oh, hell no. And I was like, sitting there, and I'm about crapping myself because they played Highway to Hell. And I eventually see him after the show. He goes, you know, I was screwing with you. And I told him to play that song, right? I was like, dude, I had no idea. I was so damn scared.
I remember about Rick Steiner this was right after the Boss Man had died.
Yeah, a week later.
And I don't remember. I know it wasn't the ring announcer, but it was maybe the commentator or somebody.
No, he was dual. He was doing both.
I wasn't, and he made a joke about Boss Man, and Rick tore into him.
No, what he did. This is the actual story. Okay. I know it for a fact because
Danny
told me.
Okay,
no,
maybe I
Danny said,
remember it wrong.
Because remember he was calling commentary over the microphone during the whole show. Danny said when D'Lo and Ricky do their match, don't do commentary. And he kept doing commentary anyway. And he cut a bad joke on Boss Man.
I thought that's what it was.
And it was a combination of the two, and he rips his jacket in half.
Oh, he attacks him, man.
Yeah.
It was slaps him around. It was great.
He should have shut up, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
But I mean, remember he split, like he grabs him by this, and somehow it splits the jacket in the back.
When you're so strong, you can rip at the back of somebody's jacket from the front.
And I remember watching, I'm like, he's beating up this announcer, and this dude just played the wrong damn music. He's going to kill me.
Kill you. Sorry, Rick. He didn't mean to. He's special. You got
hell, it's my fault the dude couldn't understand play any song but Highway to Hell.
Oh, I can imagine.
But I just remember watching him walk out to Highway to Hell song. I was like, man, he looks awesome coming out to that song. It's too bad he's gonna kill me.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I remember, and I'm not gonna say the guy's name, but I will say he's been mentioned in this conversation, and it just it's one of those things you realize, man, you know what it goes through to be a wrestler. But there was a certain wrestler that the locker room was up like 4, 5, 6 steps or whatever, and after his match, like he was looking at those steps like they were a mile high. You know, he's like, I don't want to go up those steps. You know, and it's just because his knees, his back, all that was bad.
That's why you didn't see us finishing the match.
Right, yeah, because his body was shot.
He couldn't do it.
You know, and I guess that was the first time I ever realized that. You know how much of a toll
I don't think he'd get
mad
because he's talked about stuff like this. But also it was Lex Luger,
right?
And he said because he told me because the guy that was doing the referee and Toby was doing the ref, and Toby told me, he said, Shay, at one point I thought the man was having a damn heart attack, and he said it was just because I guess the drugs had messed his heartbeat up so bad. And he's like, give me just a second. And Toby's like, this dude's just freaking die in the ring. Toby said, hey, he was legit scared, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
but it was him and Sting. But I mean, they wound up having a
really good match.
But you know, besides poor Toby getting scared to death in the ring. Yep.
But got any things you want to plug? We're going close to 25 minutes.
Like I say, check out Shay Crosby on YouTube for Life in a Headlock, or anything else on Shay Crosby on YouTube. Or just go check out Life in a Headlock on Facebook because I post everything there too.
And 10 Questions of Doom, that's something that myself and Joey Abel are trying to get kicked off. I don't know if we were supposed to tell who was kicking that off, but more Joey than me, but I do try to help. So check Life in a Headlock, 10 Questions of Doom, of course, Ego on Break.
That's it.
January 7th at the Hideaway, Jackson, Mississippi, ladder match. Pride Champion, Dark Fury. Joey Abel, those guys have been in battling out for the last few months, I guess.
Yeah.
And Joey Abel just vowed that this will be the final match. Okay. Win or lose, they're done. So, big match. But hey, check us out. Spread the word. Like, share, hashtag, all that good stuff. Later.